Hey everyone, it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be doing my December wrap-up. So I had a pretty good reading month in December. I ended up reading 7 books. 3 or 4 of those were in Bookmas, which really helped me out with my reading, that whole really relaxed readathon that I do. I had tons of fun with that, and it was lots of fun to read with you guys. I really wasn't putting a lot of pressure on myself this month to read a ton, just because it is Christmas time. It's super busy with absolutely every facet of my life, so I'm really happy that I was able to finish 7 books. I think that's awesome. And really, I almost have finished 8 books because I'm almost done with Caraval by Stephanie Garber. It is absolutely amazing. It's coming out January 31st. Definitely keep your eye out for this one because it is so good so far, but I am hoping I'll be able to finish this before the actual end of the month because I'm filming this on, I believe it's the 29th, so I have 2 more days, and I'm really hoping I'll finish it before the new year. And as per usual, if I have any reviews for any of these books for you guys, I will link them down below for you. I have a bunch of reviews that are kind of backlogged right now that I really have to film, so there probably won't be any that are actually uploaded that I can link down below, but I will be writing in the down bar when they will be coming out, so then you can kind of keep track of that. So the first book that I read this month was Frostblood by Ellie Blake. This is actually by a local author, which I'm really excited about because it's not often that authors from my part of town really get picked up by big publishing houses, so I'm super excited about it, and I did really enjoy this book. It does kind of suffer from some of the typical tropes of YA, but I think it still did it in an interesting way. I think fans of Red Queen will really like this one, but I personally am not a huge fan of Red Queen. I think this one is a little bit more original than Red Queen. It deals a lot with temperature, so there's Frostbloods and Firebloods, and like Firebloods have overtaken Frostbloods, and this girl's a Frostblood, and they find that out, which is basically terrible. She's considered a witch, and you get to kind of see her journey of trying to see how like these different binaries, how they're very like straightly, I don't know, starkly divided, but really the division isn't that, like the division can be easily blurred. I hope that made sense. It was really hard for me to get out, but nonetheless, I really enjoyed this book, and despite the tropes, I did end up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Next up is Furthermore by Tahara Mafi. I finally ended up picking this one up, and I loved it. I thought it was so good. It's a really magical, whimsical story that Tahara Mafi's writing style works perfectly for. It reminded me a lot of Alice in Wonderland. I mean, not only is the main character's name Alice, but like there's one part where it says Alice fell very far, so it's kind of like down the rabbit hole story, but it's done very well, and I loved this story so much. So I ended up giving this one a 5 out of 5 stars. Next up, I ended up picking up the first 2 books in the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, which is The Magician's Nephew and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I know there is a ton of debate about the order of this series, but I prefer to read in chronological order, so I read these 2 first because chronologically they are first, so whatever, you do you, I'm gonna do me. But I did really love these. I thought they were a fabulous story, and I'm really looking forward to diving more into the series. So I gave both of these a 5 out of 5 stars. Next up, I picked up The Little Prince. I have been recommended this book a million times, and it really has been on my TBR for a very long time. I just had never gotten around to it, but this month I ended up picking up my own copy of it, and I'm so glad that I did because I loved this story. It's really a story that makes its way into your heart and that you will remember for forever, and it's just a magical story that you can reread again and again, and it, like, the message never gets old. So I loved this, and I highly recommend it for everyone. I ended up giving it a 5 out of 5 stars. Next up, I picked up The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen. We ended up getting this really pretty edition of it at work, so I had to pick it up, but this is the story that inspired Frozen, so if you're a fan of Frozen, I think you'll really like this one. It's really like darker, but still a great story. Like, it's obviously not a Disney version, it's the regular fairy tale version, so it's not sugar-coated at all, but it's a fantastic fairy tale. I love reading fairy tales, and this one was no exception. And the last book that I ended up reading in December so far, so possibly my last book of the year, is Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I enjoyed this one, but not quite as much as Illuminae, which is the first book in this trilogy. Illuminae really gripped me from the beginning. This one I felt like had a lot of dragging parts, and I wasn't as connected with the characters. Like, I didn't really feel for them. I wasn't really sitting on the edge of my seat the whole entire time. I didn't have that same feeling of fear fear the whole entire time. Like, I think something about the concept of the first one just terrified me. This one, it didn't really terrify me, but that being said, it still is an amazing book. I still really did enjoy it a lot, and I love the way these stories are told. The one thing that I'll give this one that the other one doesn't really have is this one is a little bit more on the artistic side as far as the graphics in it than the first one is. So I'm trying to find an example. Yeah, so it has like actual illustrations in it. So it's a beautiful, beautiful book. It's a great story, and I do plan, sorry, the dust jacket is falling off, but I do plan on doing a full review for it very soon. So if you want me to go more into depth on my thoughts, then you can wait for that. It should be coming soon, hopefully. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys read in December, or if you have read any of these books, your thoughts on them. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!